A doctor rushed into the hospital after receiving an urgent call for surgery. Without a moment's delay, he changed into his surgical attire and made his way to the operating room. In the hallway, a father paced back and forth, his face twisted with anxiety. The moment he saw the doctor, his frustration boiled over. "Why did you take so long? Don't you know my son's life is in danger? Don't you have a sense of responsibility?" he shouted. The doctor, calm and composed, offered a small smile. "I'm sorry. I wasn't in the hospital when I got the call, but I came as fast as I could. Now, I need you to stay calm so I can do my job." The father's anger didn't subside. His voice rose with desperation. "Calm down? What if it were your son in that room? Would you be calm if he were dying? What would you do if your own son died?" Again, the doctor smiled gently and replied, "I would say what Job said in the Holy Book. From dust we came, and to dust we return. Blessed be the name of God. Doctors cannot prolong life. We can only do our best. Now please go and pray for your son while we do everything we can." The father murmured bitterly, "It's easy to give advice when you're not the one suffering." The surgery lasted for hours, each moment stretching endlessly for the worried father. Then finally the doctor emerged, his face bright with relief. "Thank goodness, your son is safe," he announced before quickly walking away. "If you have any questions, ask the nurse." The father watched him go, stunned by his abrupt departure. Frustration flared again. "Why is he so arrogant? He couldn't even wait a few minutes for me to ask about my son's condition," he muttered. A nurse who had been watching quietly stepped forward, tears glistening in her eyes. "His son died yesterday in a road accident," she said softly. "He was at the funeral when we called him, and now that he has saved your son's life, he's rushing back to finish burying his own child." The father stood frozen, his breath caught in his throat. His anger dissolved into a heavy wave of guilt and sorrow. His hands trembled as he looked down, ashamed of his harsh words. He turned to the nurse, his voice shaking. "I misjudged him. I was so blinded by my own pain that I never considered his." The nurse nodded, wiping her tears. "Sometimes, those who suffer the most still find the strength to help others." The father swallowed hard, his gaze shifting toward the operating room, where his son now lay safe. A silent prayer escaped his lips, not just for his son, but for the doctor who had saved him despite his own unimaginable loss. That day he learned a lesson he would carry forever. Behind every face is a story, and true strength lies in showing kindness, even in the depths of personal suffering.